Have you ever finished a workout, wiped the sweat from your brow, and felt just a little more tired than usual? Maybe your heart was pounding a bit harder. Maybe you needed to sit down longer than usual. Or maybe you just blamed it on age, thinking, well, I'm not 30 anymore. But what if those small, subtle signs weren't just aging? What if they were your body waving a quiet red flag, warning you that your favorite exercise might be putting you at risk of a stroke? Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? Especially when we've spent decades being told that movement is medicine, that exercise is the ultimate prevention. And it is. For most people, it's life-saving. But here's what no one tells you. After 60, your brain, your blood vessels, and your heart don't respond the way they did when you were younger. The very exercises that once made you feel alive might now be quietly putting pressure on arteries that have stiffened with time, or overloading a heart that no longer regulates pressure the way it used to. Instead of strengthening you, they could be weakening your most vital system without you even knowing it. And that's why today's video matters. Because instead of pushing harder and assuming no pain, no gain, it's time we start asking a better question. Is this movement helping me live longer or just making me sweat? You're about to learn which 10 exercises could be secretly dangerous for older adults, and more importantly, the safer, smarter alternatives that protect your strength in your life. Welcome back. And if you're new here, we're so glad you found us. This channel exists for one purpose: to help adults over 50 love longer, stronger, and safer. Whether you're 55 or 85, your health journey deserves guidance rooted in science, delivered with care, and tailored for the changes that come with age. Today's episode takes a hard, honest look at something most fitness programs don't tell you: how certain exercises, while popular, could quietly put older adults at higher risk of stroke. But let's be clear, this isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Because when you understand why something is risky, you can make smarter choices, you can still build strength, you can still move your body, you can still feel alive, just without putting your brain and heart on the line. So stick around. We'll unpack the science behind each hidden danger, offer safer alternatives, and even share a bonus test at the end that could protect you for years to come. Exercise is one of the most powerful tools we have to prevent strokes, heart disease, and even memory loss. That's not a myth. It's backed by decades of research. But here's what most people over 60 are never told. Your body doesn't just get older, it gets different. Your arteries may stiffen. Your heart may take longer to recover after exertion. Your blood pressure may fluctuate more dramatically, even during routine movement. And your brain's blood vessels, they're more fragile than they used to be, which means the pressure surges that felt harmless in your 40s could now be a serious threat. Let's break it down. The American Heart Association confirms that regular exercise reduces stroke risk when done correctly. But in a 2022 study, researchers found something alarming. For people with undiagnosed high blood pressure or stiff arteries, intense workouts triggered sudden spikes in blood pressure, some reaching levels above 300 over 200 millimeters of mercury. That's not just high, that's stroke territory. Another study showed that older adults who weren't active before suddenly starting intense exercise were up to 6.8 times more likely to suffer a cardiovascular event shortly after a workout. And it wasn't because they were weak. It was because their vascular system wasn't ready. Think of your body like a classic car. It still runs beautifully if you treat it right. But if you slam the gas, redline the engine, and ignore the dashboard lights, even the finest machine will break down. Instead of asking, can I do this exercise? The better question becomes, is this the right intensity, the right movement, the right approach for me right now? Because exercise isn't just about movement. It's about knowing how to move as your body changes. And that's exactly what we're here to show you next. Let's begin with a group of exercises that might seem empowering, but in older adults can quietly send blood pressure soaring to dangerous levels. We're talking about movements that force your body to strain against resistance. The kind of strain that doesn't just challenge your muscles, but overloads your heart and arteries, often in ways you can't feel until it's too late. Exercise 1. Heavy overhead. Lifting weights is often seen as the gold standard of aging well, and for many it is. But when you're over 60, and especially if you have high blood pressure or take blood thinners, overhead pressing heavy weight is a red zone. Why? Because when you lift something heavy, especially above your head, you naturally hold your breath. It's called the Valsalva maneuver. And during that moment, your blood pressure can spike to over 300 over 200 millimeters of mercury, according to Mayo Clinic cardiologist Dr. Thomas Allison. That's not strength, that's strain. Instead of building resilience, you could be bursting fragile vessels in your brain without even knowing it. Safer alternative, switch to moderate resistance training where you focus on breathing with each rep, exhaling as you lift, inhaling as you lower. Choose seated presses or resistance bands that offer control without the load shock. Exercise 2. Leg press with heavy weights. This one surprises many. The leg press machine looks like a safe option. After all, you're seated, supported, and not balancing anything. But it's also a perfect storm. You're pushing hard, often holding your breath, and loading some of the biggest muscles in your body, all while compressing your core. In a study published in the Journal of Human Hypertension, older adults using the leg press at 80% of their max effort experienced systolic spikes over 300 millimeters of mercury. That's stroke range, again. And if you have stiff arteries, an aneurysm you don't know about, or even a touch of dehydration, it could be all it takes. Safer alternative. Bodyweight squats, resistance band leg presses, or seated knee extensions with light weights can still build strength without blowing the pressure gauge. Exercise 3. Straining on the toilet. Yes, this is an exercise of sorts, and for many it's the most dangerous one of all. Why? Because straining during bowel movements mimics the Valsalva maneuver. Just like heavy lifting, you hold your breath, push hard, and pressure surges inside your skull. Neurologists at UCLA have long warned that stroke during defecation is well documented in older adults, especially those with vascular disease. And most people never connect the dots until it's too late. Safer alternative. This isn't about quitting, it's about adjusting. Stay hydrated, eat more fiber, oats, leafy greens, flaxseed. Use a footstool to elevate your knees and open the colon. And never ever ignore constipation. Your brain will thank you. These 3 hidden stressors don't always feel dangerous in the moment, but they all share one thing. They push pressure beyond what your blood vessels at 60, 70, or 80 were built to handle. And that quiet pressure is where the real danger lives. So the next time you're lifting, pressing, or even in the restroom, ask yourself, am I breathing? Am I forcing? Is there a gentler way to do this? Because strength is not just what you lift. It's how wisely you protect your most vital systems. Next, we move into a group of exercises that don't just stress your muscles. They confuse your circulation. These movements cause sudden changes in posture, pace, or pressure. And for older adults, that means your blood pressure may not adjust fast enough, leading to dizziness, fainting, or even stroke symptoms that are written off as just being tired. Let's take a closer look. Exercise 4. Burpees. Burpees are often praised as a full-body heart-pumping exercise. And for younger folks, that's true. But for older adults, they're one of the most dangerous moves in any fitness class. Burpees force your body to drop down, shoot back, jump up, all within seconds. That rapid shift in position can cause orthostatic hypotension, a sudden drop in blood pressure when you stand due to slower reflexes in your arteries. According to Neurology International, these sudden shifts can reduce blood flow to the brain and trigger transient ischemic attacks, mini strokes, especially in those with narrowed arteries. If you've ever stood up fast and felt lightheaded, now imagine repeating that 10 times in 30 seconds. Safer alternative. Try slow step-ups, marching in place, or gentle floor-to-stand transitions with support. You still activate your heart and muscles without scrambling your blood pressure. Exercise 5. Box jumps and plyometric movements. Explosive jumping exercises like box jumps, jump squats, or depth drops can be satisfying. They make you feel agile, alive, like you're pushing past limits. But every explosive jump sends a surge of intracranial pressure through your system. For aging brains and stiff arteries, that pressure spike can be devastating. A 2020 study in the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that older adults doing explosive leg exercises saw systolic blood pressure climb up to 260 millimeters of mercury. That's danger territory. Have you ever felt pressure in your head, ringing in your ears, or even a rush of heat after jumping? That's not just fatigue. That's a warning. Safer alternative. Step-ups on a stable surface, toe raises, controlled agility drills using cones, light shuffles, or balance beams. You get the coordination training without shocking your nervous system. Exercise 6. Advanced yoga inversions. Yoga is wonderful. It improves flexibility, balance, and mental calm. But certain poses, like headstands, shoulder stands, or downward dog to plow transitions, can push blood into your brain faster than your body can drain it out. These inversions restrict jugular venous outflow and increase intracranial pressure, especially in older adults with carotid artery disease or vertebral narrowing. In a 2017 review in the Journal of Bodywork and Movement Therapies, researchers found that older yoga students experience lightheadedness, blurred vision, and even confusion after long-held inversions. Safer alternative. Use wall support for gentle leg raises or skip inversions entirely. Chair yoga, floor-based stretches, and standing balance poses offer enormous benefits without sending blood surging into the skull. These exercises don't always look risky. In fact, they're often recommended as heart-healthy, high-energy moves. But when your blood vessels react a little slower and your heart doesn't shift gears quite as fast, those rapid movements can lead to silent collapses. So next time you jump, twist, or roll, ask yourself, can I slow this down? Can I swap this for a smarter version? Because movement isn't just about doing more. It's about moving wisely and letting your body catch up with your effort. Now we reach a group of exercises that seem harmless, gentle, even relaxing, but they interfere with something your brain cannot live without: oxygen. Whether through breath holding, extreme neck movement, or high heat environments, these exercises can restrict blood flow to the brainstem or reduce oxygen delivery just long enough to cause damage. Let's walk through each one. Exercise 7. Russian twists and rapid torso rotations. Ab exercises like Russian twists or fast side-to-side twists are popular in group classes and home routines. They target the obliques and promise a tighter waistline. But for older adults, these twisting motions, especially with weights or speed, can strain the vertebral arteries, which run from the spine up into the brain. A 2021 study in the Spine Journal found that spinal rotation in older adults with cervical arthritis or narrowing caused temporary brain fog, dizziness, and in some cases, minor stroke symptoms. If you've ever felt dizzy while doing ab work or stretching your neck side to side, that wasn't just a bad day. Safer alternative: go slow. Focus on core stability rather than rotation. Seated marches, bird dogs, and dead bug exercises activate your core without compromising blood flow to your brain. Exercise 8, Wim Hof style, breath holds and cold plunges. Breath work is everywhere these days. From social media influencers to wellness retreats, you'll hear about the benefits of ice baths, hyperventilation, and long breath holds. But here's the truth. For older adults, these extreme techniques are a gamble. Wim Hof-style breathing often includes cycles of rapid breathing followed by extended breath holds. This can lead to cerebral vasoconstriction, shrinking blood vessels, hypoxia, low oxygen, and even fainting or microstrokes. In 2022, Frontiers in Neurology published a case study of a 63-year-old man who experienced transient global amnesia and microstroke symptoms after unsupervised breath hold sessions. If your head feels light or you see sparkles when holding your breath, your brain is saying, I need oxygen now. Safer alternative, use controlled breathing methods like 4-7-8 breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. These lower stress and improve oxygenation without the risk. Exercise 9, hot yoga and high temperature workouts. It might feel cleansing to sweat it out in a hot studio, but elevated heat can quickly turn dangerous. Hot yoga increases dehydration, thickens the blood, and makes it harder for your heart to pump efficiently. For older adults, especially those on diuretics or with cardiovascular issues, this combination raises the risk of ischemic stroke. Harvard researchers in 2018 found that older adults in hot yoga classes experienced higher cardiovascular strain than those in room temperature sessions, without any added benefit to flexibility or fitness. Heat doesn't heal, it strains. Safer alternative, room temperature yoga, chair yoga, gentle flow sequences done in a ventilated space. These still provide flexibility, balance, and inner calm, without overheating your system. These final 3 movements all have something in common. They interfere with your brain's fuel. Whether by restricting blood flow through twisting, reducing oxygen through breath holding, or increasing strain through heat, they all chip away at your brain's stability, even if you don't feel it immediately. So ask yourself, am I doing this because it's trendy or because it's right for me at this stage of life? Because trends come and go, but protecting your brain, that's always in style. Let's talk about one of the most beloved, time-tested forms of exercise, running. There's something pure about it. Just you, your breath, and the open road. For many older adults, running feels like a way to stay young, and in many cases it can be, if it's done right. But here's where it becomes risky. Long-distance running without any monitoring. Running at a moderate pace for short distances is generally safe. But when older adults push into extended runs, especially without tracking heart rate or blood pressure, problems begin to surface. According to a 2019 Mayo Clinic proceeding study led by cardiologist Dr. James O'Keefe, older endurance runners had significantly higher rates of atrial fibrillation and arterial stiffness, both of which increase the risk of embolic stroke. And the danger isn't just about distance, it's about unawareness. You might feel fine during the run, but if your heart is working harder than you realize, or if your arteries can't handle the sustained pressure, you could be silently setting yourself up for a serious event. Safer alternative, try interval jogging where you alternate between walking and jogging, or consider brisk walking, cycling, or swimming, all of which raise your heart rate gently while protecting your vascular system. And no matter what you do, track your pulse before, during, and after. Knowledge is safety because running can still be part of your life. But after 60, the goal isn't just to go farther, it's to go wiser. Before we wrap up, here's something that could quite literally save your life. It's not an exercise, it's a test. A simple, non-invasive, painless procedure that takes about 15 minutes, but could reveal something critical, whether your arteries are quietly narrowing without you knowing it. It's called a carotid artery ultrasound. The carotid arteries run along each side of your neck. They're the main highways delivering blood from your heart to your brain. Over time, especially past age 60, plaque can build up in these arteries, narrowing the space and increasing the risk of a stroke. The scary part? You might feel perfectly fine until one day you're not. But with a quick ultrasound, doctors can check for narrowing or blockages before symptoms ever show up. It's painless. It doesn't involve needles or radiation. And if you've had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or a history of smoking, it's one of the most important scans you can ask for. Think of it like checking your brakes before a road trip. You wouldn't head out on a long drive without knowing your car can stop safely. So why start or continue a fitness routine without knowing your brain's blood supply is clear? Ask your doctor. It might not be standard practice, but it should be. Because the best workouts in the world won't help if your arteries can't keep up. So now that you've seen the list, did any of those exercises surprise you? Maybe you've been doing some of them for years. Maybe you've never had a problem, or maybe you felt a little off once or twice but brushed it aside. That's okay. You haven't failed your body. You've just never been told what to watch for or how much things change after 60. We've been taught to move more, push harder, and never quit. But aging doesn't mean stopping. It means adapting. Because the real danger isn't in movement itself. It's in unquestioned movement. Doing something just because you always have, or because it worked when you were younger. But today you've done something powerful. You've taken a moment to ask, is this still serving me, or is it silently stressing my system? And now you know better. You know how to spot risky exercises. You know the signs your body might be giving you. You know that a stroke doesn't always start with something dramatic. It can start with something familiar, done a little too forcefully by a body that just needed a gentler approach. So what now? Start by reviewing your routine. Swap out one or two of the high-risk exercises we covered. Try one of the safer alternatives. Talk to your doctor about a carotid artery scan. And most importantly, share this video. If you know someone over 50 who's still going hard at the gym or who thinks sweat means success, send this to them. Let's make this conversation louder because movement is medicine, but only if it's the right dose at the right time for the right body. Stay strong, stay wise, and above all, stay here with us. We'll be back next week with more science-backed, age-smart health guidance you can trust. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment below. What's one change you're making in your workouts starting today? Until next time, move gently, breathe fully, and protect your brain. You've got a lot of life left to live.